have to be very quiet tonight because we're in a library.
We just arrived at the Dartford Library.
Doesn't seem at all frightening or imposing in any way. Apparently there's an attic. I've not been up there, but that's apparently quite spooky and claustrophobic. Don't hold out much hope for anything really happening here.
I mean, some people don't feel anything, but a majority of staff hate going up there. Most won't go up there in twos, if at all.
But then you see, we're in daylight, the lights are all on, it's all comfortable. When the lights are all off, that might be a different matter. But I'm not holding out much hope. I know that I could quite happily put a sleeping bag in here and sleep the night. It just doesn't feel scary at all.
The bookstore in our roof is the remotest part of the building. A member of staff has in the past reported that they've gone up there to look for a particular book, and that book was actually off the shelf on the floor. Nobody else goes up there. The books never move from one year to the next.
So we're up in the attic part of Dartford Library, which is, this part is shared by the library and also the museum. So the central bit is more a case of book storage, and then the side bits are used by the museum. What I'm going to do is a survey, electric field survey, as we walk down the corridor, and I've already got a very high. The guys in the sound edit aren't going to like this sound, unfortunately. So if you're watching the lights, can you see the lights on there? Going up. And going down, and going back up again. And then going down again. So the effect that you've got is along this corridor, and it's the same effect, the parallel corridor, is this sort of effect with electric field, ELF. In the peaks, people will get the sense that they're being touched, they may even get headaches, they may feel the hair going up on their arms, stroking, touching, that sort of sensation. And given that these are eyewitness reports that have occurred here before at this location, I think we found a viable scientific reason for why it might be happening. So it'd be interesting to see later on, you know, on other vigils, walk-arounds, if anybody experiences anything like those sort of symptoms, which would be electrostatic.
Well, actually what we're going to do, we're just setting up for Yvette's first piece to camera. Now, we're going to put some track here, because what I'm trying to get is Yvette at the end of this room, which is at the end, because this is where a ghost of an old lady's been seen. What we're going to do is put the track up to the door, so when the camera moves along, the lens will just stop about there, giving the effect that it's actually gone through the door, when in fact the camera's still this side. And Yvette will do a piece to camera there, which you'll see in, well, you'll probably see it right now.
Here in the back office, the image of an old lady has been seen by staff, who alarmingly describe her as looking half dead.
We're in the back office in the Dartford Library, and this is the first 2 lock-offs in the back office, hopefully picking up visual apparitions. The time is approximately 11:15. We're looking at something about 10 MV, 10 millivolts. It's not significant enough to actually cause any sort of interference, whether that's brain, but with electric fields you're looking at kind of static electricity, that sort of thing, whether that can affect somebody. Having been on locations before where this thing just goes through the roof and the readings on this are very high, and it's often down to faulty wiring, stuff not being earthed. But here we don't seem to have a problem, which makes me think that perhaps what we're dealing with is more corner of the eye phenomena. So if you imagine just somebody coming through and taking a quick glance that way, something they may have done many times before, but on this particular occasion, maybe because of something they've seen earlier that day, something they've read, their state of mind, maybe they're a bit more tired, they see something out of the corner of the eye there, but certainly we're looking at EMF not causing that.
In some ways it's been a bit of a nuisance doing the lighting and the camera work and that, because you've got to try and get different positions when you're doing interviews, but each position looks the same really, because it's all books, isn't it?
Yeah.
The librarians have reported that when they intend to get a particular book, when they go and search for a particular book, it's that book that comes off the shelf.
Well, we did the walk around with David, which was fascinating because he came out with some really good information. When you say clunking of machinery, what sort of can you see it or are you just hearing it?
I can just hear. I can hear like a powerful clunk of machinery. I can hear bombs dropping, but you know.
He's picked up on some brilliant stuff. I mean, he does seem to. He just amazes me anyway, David, with what he comes out with. He's picked up that he's not said tin works, but he said that this was a works of, he's got metal and machinery sort of moving around. Which there was tin works just literally towards the end there.
We've been getting tappings, rappings again.
Can I ask you, is your name Catherine? Is it Kathleen?
One of the phenomena that's meant to be experienced at this particular location is librarians pick a particular book, they go to the shelf and it comes out the shelf.
I watched it fall from them and it came out of there, down there, that's where it came out of. I saw it with my own eyes.
What we're going to do, a group of us, is go upstairs, conduct a vigil, and I've gone to each person individually and asked them either for a title of a book, an author or a genre, and put their name next to it. And so if any books come up that are related to any of those titles or authors or genres, then I'll be very impressed.
Walk around was really interesting. I think particularly the attic was odd, to say the least.
Poor Yvette was scared beyond belief when something grabbed her leg. I've not heard a scream like that for a long time, but it's always good to hear.
What is it? What's wrong?
Something grabbed my leg. It was like something just stroking down the side of my leg, really firmly but gently. And I screamed because I was so startled by it. I didn't imagine it. I didn't brush my leg against anything. It was a definite touch. It really frightened me.
Although this is a small place, and I have to admit, a lot of us earlier today when we first got here, we weren't really thinking that a lot was going to happen, and we kind of thought, it's a library. It doesn't seem to be that haunted, but as the night's going on and progressing, things are happening.
Kath and I explored the main library with the night vision camera.
I just heard a footstep in the room where we did the séance. Should we go in?
Is there anybody here?
Oh, I feel like I want to run.
Really?
Yeah. It's my back leaving. And I'm leaving somewhere. Hello?
Did you hear that?
Bangs. That's upstairs though, isn't it?
No, it sounded like it coming from behind you.
Oh, some books are coming off the shelves upstairs.
Is anybody here? Any spirit people that want to talk to us? Can you give us a sign? Let us know that you're around. I'm Yvette.
I'm Kath.
Come on. Come and talk to us.
That's new. Where is it coming from? Kath, wait. That was me.
Is that you, Kathleen? This going in this part just unnerves me.
Yeah. Are there any spirit people here that want to talk to us? There's just two of us here now, me and Kath. Kathleen. Did you hear that? Did you hear it?
Scratching.
Our guest medium Jan Dayton joined Dr. Kieran O'Keefe to take her first impressions of the attic bookstore.
I'm picking up a nervousness over in this corner. Yeah,
Is it? Do you get the feeling that it's one person imposing their anxiety on you, or
I think it's one.
more than one person?
There are two people, but the one who is dominant is the male, and it's an anxiety and it's a fear, the two feelings combined. Yeah, now here, right, I don't know if you can feel this. Okay, whoa, okay, that's not bad. If you come forward,
Yeah.
you see what I mean about this cold patch, just feel if you can feel that. Whoa, there we go,
Yes,
right in it.
I can feel
right in it, okay,
cold
sweetheart.
patch right here.
Okay, sweetie. Alright. Okay, I've got you. Yeah, okay, that's great. That's lovely, well done. Really showing us you around, aren't you? That's
Do you know
okay.
who this is?
I'm feeling very masculine now, I'm feeling very big and I'm feeling very strong. Thick-necked. Angry because nobody understood me. Nobody understood me and I was misunderstood. I had to hide away because I was misunderstood.
Right.
Alright, sweet, okay. Alright. And yes, thank you. He's giving me this confusion now. This confusion. I'm feeling a little bit off balance, not sure where I am, what I'm doing. That sort of feeling.
Right.
Only sharing it with me, not, giving it to me personally. I don't feel this gentleman could see that well either. I know I picked that up before, that there's a problem with one of his eyes, because I'm actually having trouble with one of my eyes at the moment. Yeah, it's just feeling strange.
And it's just one of the eyes as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, just one.
Guest medium Jan Dayton is a practitioner of psychic drawing, the ability to clear one's thoughts and then commit to paper what is seen within the mind's eye. Here she attempts to give form to the spirit that is said to haunt the attic bookstore.
She was picking up on a number of characters, but the masculine character she was picking up, a guy who she said had a problem with the eye, kind of an injury to the eye or something with the eye, but quite an angry man, or at least confused in some way. And she did some psychic art, and this is the man that she was talking about. This is the drawing of the man. And this is the photograph of Edward Wood, who was the first librarian at Dartford, with his daughter, perhaps, Kathleen Wood, who is said to actually haunt the library. And in fact, in the adjoining room is where her apparition was said to have been seen. Now, the issue is this psychic art portrait matching this particular face here? And certainly there are similarities in terms of the baldness and possibly the eye here. Seems to be some sort of problem, perhaps, with the eye there. The only thing is, I'm very sceptical of psychic art generally anyway, because the experience I've had with psychic artists is they have maybe 5 characters that they draw, and that they draw very, very well, and then they'll add to those characters hats or facial hair or scars or bruises, or change the mouth slightly, but generally there are 5 sorts of characters. And this is just quite a generic face. I don't know if we're reading anything into this, you know, or if this artist has actually picked up on the character of Edward Wood. He's an interesting character merely because of the agreement between Jan, the guest medium, and David, who both picked up on a problem with the eye at around the same sort of time in this building. David was in a séance and he commented on the problem with his eye, his right eye. Jan was upstairs with myself and Paul, who's on camera now, in the attic, and she picked up on a problem with the eye. She didn't specify it's left or right, but I distinctly remember her standing next to me and talking about the eye that was furthest away from me, which would have been her left eye.
For me, the most fascinating thing so far is the books coming off the shelves.
Whoa, hell was that?
There's a book on the floor.
Right. Where? Can't see it.
We asked for a World War II book. A World War II book landed on the floor. We asked for a book on philosophy. You know, a book on philosophy fell on the floor. It's just weird. It's really strange stuff. And the most fascinating thing for me, and I can't stop looking at it, is we went to do an investigation a while back on the last series, where we actually went to do an investigation on the Discovery, which is where the boat that Scott took to the Antarctic.
When you find yourselves on board a ship that once carried some very notable names, it seemed only right to try to contact them. But a century on, would our heroic polar explorers still be able to hear or even respond?
So Shackleton, if your room is here, your cabin, please could you knock on the door of where it is so we can see? Maybe we could go to your cabin?
One of the things that was thrown at us during a séance, which is something we actually couldn't really we couldn't picture or understand what it was. The curator of the ship didn't know what it was. It seemed to be sort of like a round cog.
Holy hell, what was that?
Oh my God, it's brilliant!
Whatever it was.
It's a thingy! It's a rope!
A what?
It's a rope thing! That's fantastic!
That's what goes in the pulley, isn't it?
Yeah! Oh my God! And it's not warm at all.
I came across this picture, and basically this is Ernest Shackleton. Ernest Shackleton was one of the gentlemen that we picked up during the séance when we were on the Discovery. And as I was saying, there was a cog, I think it was thrown at John, and it landed on the floor and we couldn't tell what it was. And I looked at the picture and I've just seen what it was. And there it is. It's something which looks exactly like the cog thrown at John, tied onto Shackleton. If we replay that clip, I actually ask out and say, can you please throw us something personal of yours? And that hits John in the back. And it's just weird. I just think it's fascinating. The whole thing is just mind-blowing, really.
Right, it's come to the end of the night now, and I've got to hold my hands up and say I was completely wrong about this location.
One question. Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters? Most Haunted Team? This has been an absolute dream of mine. I have finally fulfilled my destiny.
I liked it. I enjoyed the library because it was completely different to anything we've ever done before.
I'm a doctor of parapsychology, like Dr. Venkman. I was thrown out of a parapsychology unit of a university, like Dr. Venkman. I'm one of the most important or significant cases that he and his team conducted was in a library. And that's what I've done this evening. Regardless of whether the paranormal phenomena was actually paranormal or whether it's normal, which I think it was, is irrelevant. For me, the experience was a dream. It was my destiny. It was Ghostbusters, and it was awesome.
It's been a great evening. It's been a brilliant, brilliant night, and I think if anyone gets the opportunity to come to Dartford Library, they've got to come here. Just the atmosphere, just the place. There's something about it that you can't put into words. But thanks very much for joining us on Most Haunted Extra. I'm off now to bed. Yvette's already gone. Unfortunately, she's actually taken the car. She's taken the car.